Hi, good afternoon. So, playoffs time for IPL 2022. Gujarat Titans, Rajasthan Royals, Royal Challengers Bengaluru, and the Lucknow Super Giants have moved into the playoffs. But in this video, I will just quickly go through the non-qualifiers review, how they performed in this 2-month IPL extravaganza, IPL 22. I must start with Delhi Capitals first. As you know, Delhi Capitals, they had a good team, strong team, but they unfortunately could not qualify. They did not have any consistency. They hardly had any consecutive wins, run of wins, which is required to qualify. Never had that, and a win was invariably followed by a loss. And at the end, in the match against Mumbai Indians, the match in which they could have won to qualify, everything was in their hands, but some flaws, drop catch, an easy drop catch by Rishabh Pant, and then not taking the DRS against Team David proved to be very costly, and finally Delhi lost that match and missed out the playoffs buzz. So this year Delhi has not been very consistent. From the individual point of view, David Warner played very well for Delhi. He was consistent. On the other hand, Kuldeep Yadav bowled very well for Delhi this year, around 20 odd wickets. But apart from them, Akshar Patel, Rishabh Pant, Prithvi Shaw, they had just had fleeting performances, not consistent. So finally, Delhi losing out for the playoffs berth in spite of having a good team. Then we talked about Punjab Kings. Similar, absolutely similar run. They had a campaign similar to Delhi this year. No consecutive wins. A run of wins was required again for Punjab Kings. It did not happen. They had a very good batting lineup and a very good team to go all the way this year in the IPL for the IPL playoffs and maybe to go on and win the tournament. But they flattered to deceive. I mean, very good team they had, especially in batting. They had Besto, Livingston, Shikhar Dhawan, Bhanuka Rajapaksa, Mayank Agarwal himself, the captain. They had a very strong batting core. Bowling was pretty decent. Rabada was there. Arshdeep has been bowling very well in the Yorkers with the Yorkers, and they had Rahul Chahar and all. But then, unfortunately, similar run like Delhi, similar campaign like Delhi, win followed by an invariably a loss, and they could not qualify. Couple of crucial moments in this IPL campaign for Punjab. They missed out that Gujarat match, win that first match against Gujarat, in which Rahul Tewatia hit two consecutive sixes. If they had stopped one of the sixes in that last over, or had they chased down Delhi's mediocre score of 160 in the one of the later matches, last but one match, they would have qualified for the players. But unfortunately, they missed out some crucial moments and then they lost out for players. So Punjab, I would say, Liam Livingstone has been a revelation. He has played brilliantly in this tournament. His hitting of sixes has been absolutely magnificent. I think explosive batting, his explosive batting really took Punjab very close to playoffs, but unfortunately it did not happen. Arshdeep bowled very well for them in the death overs. So that was it for Punjab. Again, no luck this year. Then we go on to Sunrisers Hyderabad. Now, Sunrisers Hyderabad in the first half of the league, of the IPL, after two back-to-back losses, they had 5 back-to-back wins and they looked well cruising towards the playoffs. But then, I don't know what happened. They had some injury issues that was very unfortunate for them. And Natarajan and Sundar missed out, and the bowling fell apart somehow. That momentum they lost, and they had 7 back-to-back losses, and finally they could not qualify for the playoffs. Sunrisers Hyderabad. For them, I think Williamson has been a big disappointment as a batsman this year, but I would say Rahul Tripathi played very well for them. Abhishek Sharma played very well for them this year, and in the bowling, Bhuvi has again been pretty consistent. But the others, there have been some inconsistent performances in bowling also, especially in the later half. But Umran Malik has been very good. Although he leaked a lot of runs, but he also took a lot of wickets, and with his pace he made a lot of difference also. But Sunrisers just could not. Their poor second half made them lose the playoffs berth. That was Sunrisers, and then we go to Kolkata Knight Riders. Kolkata Knight Riders just hit the axe on their foot. I mean, they just made so many changes. That was partly due to lack of form of some of the top players, and partly maybe due to overseas players coming late. Whatever it was, they made too many changes in their batting order. Some weird batting order changes. Sunil Narayan batting on the means Rinku Singh coming at number 8 one day, Nitish Rana coming down the order one day. So everything looked very haywire for Kolkata in the batting department. The bowling helped them to uh, do well. They did well in the bowling, I would say. Sunil Narayan was very good. Tim Saudi was good in the matches. Rumesh Yadav was very good in the power plays. But overall, Kolkata just could not put on the consistent performances, and some poor batting performances had them out of the playoffs. So that was Kolkata. And then finally we have come to the two big champions, Mumbai and Chennai. Mumbai Indians and Chennai Super Kings, who had 9 titles between them. Mumbai Indians, it was evident just before the IPL started in the playoffs, in the auction, they had a pretty poor auction. They lost a lot of good bowling source, and their batting also. They lost Kunal Pandya, Hardik Pandya, and they lost Kent Bolt, some key players they lost in this year, and that's the reason why this time Mumbai Indians just couldn't flower at all. I mean, the first half was absolutely poor for them. They had waited for almost, I think, 11 or 12 match, I think almost 10 or 11 match for their first win. I mean, they just struggled totally in the first half, no win. The second half they improved. Daniel Sands bowled well. Jasprit Bumrah came into his own. Ishan Kishan started to score some more runs at a better pace, and Tilak Varma, in fact, Tilak Varma has played very well for Mumbai right through the tournament, and Team David means exploded towards the end. Mumbai, due to their bowling attack, the bowling attack has been half of what they were in the previous seasons. Due to the bowling attack, I think they lost out, and they lost out a lot of good players in the auction. As a result, the results clearly reflected in this IPL. Mumbai Indians finished last in this IPL. So 5-10 champions finishing last. Rohit Sharma's form was also pretty poor. As for Chennai Super Kings, similar story as Mumbai Indians. They lost a lot of good players in the auction. They missed out the services of Deepak Chahar, who was injured, missed the whole IPL. Jadeja was made the captain. He couldn't deliver the goods, and again the captaincy got changed. A lot of things at the background, they affected Chennai's performances. Some good performances here and there from Moeen Ali, Rituraj Gaikwad, and Devon Conway towards the end, and some good bowling by Mukesh Chaudhary towards the later half of the season helped a little bit. Mahesh Dikshana was very good, but overall it was a disappointing performance from Chennai, and they finished ninth in this year's IPL. So that's about it. I mean, all the 6 teams, they had various reasons to not to do well in this IPL. Delhi had a lot of problems with COVID also and all this stuff as a result, and Delhi and Punjab did not have back-to-back wins. They were never consistent in spite of having a good team. And as for Hyderabad, they just lost the momentum after a great first half. Kolkata made too many changes in the batting order, and Mumbai and Chennai had lost so many good players in the auction. They just couldn't put together a good team which could go all the way, and they struggled because of that. Chennai had some issues with captaincy. Mumbai had a lot of issues with form of Rohit Sharma, but then still we saw some very good players coming out from all these teams. Umran Malik, Tilak Varma, Arshdeep Singh, to name a few. They have done very well. Jita Sharma of Punjab, they did very well. Liam Livingston has been perfect, fantastic, I would say. So overall, I'd say disappointing. There have been some disappointing runs for all the 6 teams. So now we'll just go and see which 4 teams, the 4 teams that have qualified, how they perform in the playoffs. Thank you so much for hearing.